Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Psych, this is the first video on my channel. Today I'm going to be drawing a creeper as a cat furry. I decided on a cat because it has a lot of similarities with a creeper. For instance, its long stretched out torso reminds me of a creeper, as well as cats hiss and they sneak around. Drawing over the sketch layer, I really wanted to emphasize the wild and scraggly fur and add unsheathed claws to fit the theme of this mob being a monster. I then selected the legs and dragged them down because I wanted to adjust the torso to be longer. Then I went into the face to create an angry expression with visible fangs to emphasize the cat mouth. I drew some fluff in the ears to give them dimension. I added a bandana and then I went into adding the tail fur. I wanted to make the tail fur spiky, like a scaredy cat Halloween decoration, as if the creeper is right about to attack. The reason I chose to make the tail all jagged and crooked is because I picture the creeper to be a creepy character, but also kind of hideous and grotesque, and I feel like making a tail that looks intentionally broken adds to that character's design, especially considering that cats are pretty cute, and especially this design's face is cartoony. The reason I decided to use a more muted color palette than the creeper actually has is because I knew I wanted the background to be a night sky, and so I wanted the creeper to look like it was under the moonlight instead of the sunlight. I gave it a bandana because I wanted it to look like Swiper from Dora the Explorer. I feel like leaning into the sneakiness of a creeper is pretty funny, and giving it a pose like it's tiptoeing around accentuates this as well. I decided on making the creeper's spots irregular in size, shape, and placement to mimic that of a leopard. Why? Because they both are apex predators on their food chains. This is the food chain of a leopard, and this is the food chain of a creeper. Both leopards and creepers rely on stealth to hunt their prey. By the time a player realizes a creeper is right behind them, it's usually too late. Back to the drawing, I'm working on adding shading to the ears and face, and then I move on to the eyes, which takes some experimenting to get right. I settled on the eyes looking like crescent moons, which I planned on being a reflection of the moon in the background later on. Speaking of which, oh boy, is it ever background time. I honestly really like drawing backgrounds. I know some artists don't like them and some skip them entirely, and that's fine, but I personally love giving my characters a place to live, and I feel like you can express a lot of a character's personality through what they inhabit. I decided on making the background a plains biome, as I often see creepers sneaking in the tall grass and sunflowers. I added some dirt blocks to indicate a slow elevation, and then I detailed the individual grasses and added some shading to the creeper to give it weight in the space. Shading is so important because it makes the character seem three-dimensional and actually existing in the space rather than a two-dimensional flat figure. I really liked the muted blue sky, but I felt like it was missing something, so I went in and added a gradient effect of swirling dark clouds, and I think that really finishes the illustration. I adjust the brightness and saturation of the lightest blue to have it blend more seamlessly into the cloud layers. And here it is, the finished illustration. I think it turned out really well. For the next drawing, I decided to draw my favorite mob, the Minecraft bee. When I was first doing sketches in my sketchbook for this illustration, I had 3 key features in mind that I wanted to emphasize: fluffy, round, and friendly. I also wanted the Minecraft bee to have a much more pastel color palette than the creeper illustration. This is because that when viewed side by side, I wanted the two illustrations to contrast, with the monstrous and evil qualities of the creeper only serving to highlight the friendly and fluffy qualities of the Minecraft bee. Observant viewers might have noticed that I didn't draw a stinger on this bee. I didn't forget, this is because the Minecraft bee doesn't have a stinger. This makes me think that Minecraft bees are modeled after bumblebees, because their stingers are hidden by how fuzzy they are. This is why I wanted to add the fluffy texture all over the bumblebee's body and legs. I made its wings fairly small, and I picture that this bumblebee can fly, but not for very long distances. I think if they could, Minecraft bees definitely would collect flowers, and so that's what I have this one doing. I'm trying to make this bee clearly a Minecraft bee rather than just any bee, so sticking to the Minecraft bee design, I add 2 thin brown stripes, and then 1 thick brown stripe at the bottom. When I first saw a Minecraft bee in-game, I literally gasped in amazement. They have no right to be that cute. When I realized I could attach a lead to a bee and lead it around on a string, it's like, who needs dogs and cats? I've got my own pet, bee on a string. I changed the antenna color from brown to gray, and then I realized that the Minecraft bee actually has a light blue highlight in its eyes. Looks like a certain skeleton. And then I added some highlights to be cute, and I added a heart highlight because I really wanted to emphasize that this bee means no harm. I hate most bugs, but for bees I'll make a small exception. I blended 2 types of blues to make the eyes appear more natural, and then I went in for some shading. I feel like where I messed up with the creeper illustration is by making all the line art black, and making all the line art a darker color of the color in the bee sketch I think was a vast improvement, and I plan on using that technique with my future illustrations. So right now the bee itself is basically finished other than the wings, so I was trying to decide which flowers to add, because I wanted to only add Minecraft flowers, you know, to be realistic, to stick to the game lore. I did some research on different Minecraft flowers, and I eventually settled on adding 2 cornflowers, an oxeye daisy, and a red tulip. I was tempted to add a sunflower, but I feel like the size difference between a bee and a sunflower just wouldn't work, and also I wanted all the flowers to be relatively the same size. If I was going to redo this illustration, I think I would add more flowers in the background instead of just the one it's chasing. But then again, it does give the illustration more focus and makes it more simplistic, which I kind of like. The cornflowers were really fun to draw. I really liked layering the petals over one another. I wanted to make all the stems the same color because that's how it is in Minecraft, and also I wanted to keep a relatively minimalistic color palette to have the drawing be more unified. I looked up the leaves of each plant to make them look like the actual plant. Even though I know that's a very minuscule detail and not many people will notice it, I think it's still nice to include. Plus, drawing tulip leaves is nice because of the way they fold elegantly. While doing research on Minecraft bees, I learned that pandas, and more recently bees, were included by Mojang to raise awareness about the importance of the conservation of these species. How did I not hear about this? I don't care who you are, that's wholesome, and it makes me appreciate Minecraft bees even more. Apparently the issue is that habitat loss is leading to steep declines in bee populations. That's pretty sad, not gonna lie. I think it's a wholesome direction for the game to go in, and it's nice to see Mojang tackle real-world issues with their platform. I hope in the future Mojang adds more at-risk or endangered species to Minecraft. My pick would be the pink river dolphin, because there's already a dolphin, but this one could be rarer and only live in swamp and jungle biomes. So, starting on the background, I wanted it to look like the same plains biomes as the creeper drawing. Because this scene is during the day, I made the grass and dirt both lighter this time. I prefer the background in this one. Making the grass chunkier and more detailed lends itself to the friendly and cartoony style I was going for. I really like the little grass block that sticks out. Aww. I wanted the skies in the 2 illustrations to match as well, and so I switched to the watercolor brush on low opacity for that painterly, dappled effect. I again chose 3 gradually darker shades of blue, mirroring the other sky. I want to try digitally drawing, playing with low opacity and layering colors more, as I also paint traditional watercolor paintings, and these skies reminded me of that medium. I decided to add some fluffy clouds. I could have made them blockier to imitate real Minecraft clouds, but I thought that would be distracting, as I want the viewer's eye to be drawn to the bee, not the weird clouds behind the bee. I tried to imply depth in the illustration by adding large grass tufts to the extreme foreground, and having them recede in size into the background. This, along with the angles I drew the grass blocks at, is using linear perspective to create the illusion of depth on a flat surface. The first instances of painters using the technique of linear perspective were in the early 15th century. It's so cool to use art techniques today that have been around for 600 years. And here's the finished illustration. It's rare that when I finish a drawing, the drawing looks the same as how I pictured it in my mind's eye, but this one got pretty close, and I'm very proud of that. Here are the illustrations side by side. I think they compare and contrast nicely. Let me know which one was your favorite. If you liked, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. See you next time.